Have you ever felt a disconnect? Maybe at a family gathering abroad, when the elders start speaking in deep Shona, or during a ceremony, and you realize there's a whole layer of meaning you don't quite grasp. For many of us in the diaspora, our identity can feel like a puzzle with a few pieces missing. We were raised with the strong, familiar framework of Christianity. We know the Bible. But a question often lingers in the back of our minds. What was here before? What did our great-great-grandparents believe when they looked at this same sun, this same land, before the arrival of missionaries? Today, we are not rejecting any faith. Instead, we're going on a journey of recovery. We are asking a brave and vital question. What did we believe before Christianity? Recovering Shona theology. This is a story not of primitive superstition, but of a complex, sophisticated, and beautiful spiritual worldview. If that sounds intriguing, stick with me for the next 20 minutes. Let's clear something up first. The idea that Africa had no theology, no structured thought about God, is a colonial myth. We had a profound understanding of the divine, and it was deeply interwoven with everyday life. We can break it down into 3 core pillars. Pillar 1, Mwari, the supreme creator. At the very top was Mwari, also known as Musiki Vanhu, the creator of people. This was not a tribal god, but a supreme being, a singular god who was omnipotent and omnipresent. Mwari was understood as so powerful, so immense, that direct worship was rare. You didn't build a small shrine to Mwari. The entire universe was his temple. Instead, Mwari was accessed through creation. The beauty of a mountain, the power of a storm, the mystery of a forest, these were manifestations of Mwari's power. This is why you'll hear in our tsumo, our proverbs, references to Mwari ndiye musiki, God is the creator. The concept of a single, all-powerful God was not imported, it was foundational. Pillar 2, the Vadzimu, the ancestral bridge. But if Mwari was so distant, how did people communicate? This is where the second pillar comes in. The Vadzimu, the ancestral spirits. Think of them not as ghosts in the Western sense, but as the living dead. They were the vital bridge between the living world and the spiritual realm of Mwari. Your recently deceased grandfather, your great-grandmother, these were your Vadzimu. They were interested in your family's welfare. They would bring blessings, guidance, and protection, but they also demanded moral living. If your family was struck by unexplained misfortune, illness, or drought, the first question was, have we offended the Vadzimu? Have we forgotten our duties? This created a powerful system of accountability that extended beyond the grave. You weren't just living for yourself, you were living for the honor of your lineage, past and present. This is the core of Ubuntu. I am because we are. And we includes those who came before us. Pillar 3, the Mhondoro and the natural world. Beyond the family ancestors were the Mhondoro, great tribal spirits, often of founding chiefs or legendary heroes. These were guardians of the entire community, linked to the welfare of the chiefdom or kingdom. The famous spirit Nehanda was a Mhondoro, and this is where our famous totems, or mitupo, come in. The Soko, Shava, Mhofu, these were not just clan names, they were a sacred covenant. If your totem was the Shava, eland, you did not hunt or eat the eland. This animal was your relative, your spiritual emblem. This system was a genius form of early conservation and a constant reminder that we are not separate from nature. We are part of a sacred ecosystem created by Mwari. You protected your totem animal, and in turn, it protected your clan's identity. The Great Rupture, colonialism and demonization. So, we had a complete system, a supreme god, Mwari, accessed through ancestral intermediaries, Vadzimu, with community guardians, Mhondoro, all rooted in a sacred relationship with nature, Mitupo. Then came the rupture. Colonial missionaries arrived. To convert people, they had to dismantle this existing theology. Our Vadzimu were labeled demons. Our spirit mediums were called witches. Our deep reverence for Mwari was ignored or co-opted. Our beliefs were not presented as different, but as evil. To be educated, to be saved, you had to reject the spiritual world of your ancestors. This caused a deep spiritual trauma that echoes through generations. The bridge. Why this matters today. So why does this matter to you, watching this in London, Toronto, or Dallas today? Recovering this theology is not about abandoning your current faith. It's about reclaiming a lost piece of your identity. It's about understanding why your mother always pours a little libation on the ground before a family event. It's about the meaning behind your totem that you have on your social media bio. It's about the deep cultural reason behind our respect for elders. It gives context to the resilience of our people. The first Chimurenga wasn't just a political war, it was a spiritual one, led by spirit mediums like Nehanda and Kaguvi, who were defending this entire cosmological order. When we understand this, we stop seeing our heritage as a collection of random superstitions and start seeing it for what it was. A sophisticated, holistic, and resilient theology that guided our ancestors for centuries. The story of Shona spirituality is not a closed book. It's a story we are still writing. By asking, what did we believe? We are not looking backwards with nostalgia. We are gathering lost wisdom to build a more rooted future. This is just the beginning of the conversation. I have a question for you in the comments. What is one tradition or story from your own family that you now see in a new light after watching this? Let's get a conversation going. Your story might help someone else connect the dots. If this video brought you any value, any insight into who you are, then please do two things. 1. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We are building a community here, dedicated to uncovering and celebrating our rich Shona heritage. And this is just the first of many deep dives. 2. Share this video with one person, a cousin, a parent, a friend, who you think needs to see this. Let's start this journey of recovery together. Thank you for watching. Remember, to know who you are, you must know who you were. Tiri vana vevhu rino. We are the children of this soil. See you in the next video.